Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Beorning. We are now outside of Archet, ready to start in the open area. Assuming we don't get run down by a horse. Now let's see what we have at the start. We have some new mail. Ah yes, the infamous comb horse quest. We'll just accept that. We'll save the Hobbit present, though, until I reach level 10, or until near the end of the day for me on this. So I'm going to talk to Lady Foxtail here and see what she has to say.
I do not know where the ranger has gone, but John Brackenbrook might know.
I must say, you are a tall one. From where have you come, and what are you called? Pineclaw? That is quite an unusual name. What business brings you to Archet? Oh, we have our own share of troubles, and have little need for outsiders to bring theirs. Ah, the ranger. He was here, it is true, but he has gone. He left just before the Blackwalled brigands launched their attack on our town, reducing it to this state. We could have used him here for defense. To speak the truth, we could have used you as well, had you arrived a little earlier. You look like a strong one. I do not know where the ranger has gone now, but John Brackenbrook might know. He has assumed command of the rebuilding process, now that his father has perished. You will find him in front of the wreckage in the tavern, I imagine. I saw him there earlier. Now in this case, they gave a entrance into Archet that's a little bit different than everybody else's, since everybody else, of course, or I should say they assumed that you went through the Archet area. You could be an elf who just suddenly popped over this end, and everybody seems to pretend that you came from here pretty much. But in this case, on the Beornings, they have some special text in various parts of it, so I will go through the Archet quest for that reason. Ah, John Brackenbrook, I presume.
I must say, I never expected to see one of your kind in these parts.
Well, I must say I never expected to see one of your kind in these parts. You are one of the line of Beorn, are you not? Your stature and demeanor seem unmistakable to me. I have never met any of your family until today, but I have heard tell that you're people from the Rangers and other wild folk. Yes, Aragorn was here, though he goes by the name of Strider in these parts. He left with some haste, but I heard from others he was loath to do so, and wished to stay and help us with our troubles. He made for the town of Bree, unless I heard wrong. But stay, my tall friend. Do not hurry away quite yet. You come just at our darkest hour, when the Blackwalled brigands have burned our town and slain many of our friends. My own father perished last night, struck down by the Blackwalls and their hateful allies from the north, from Angmar. I know you wish to seek out Aragorn, but if you truly share his ideas, he will spare a few moments to help the people who need it. The experience will make you stronger and tougher. We will prevent other towns from being burned in the name of evil. Think on it. Alright, and we get our milestone skill here. So let's add our milestone. I'll leave the quick slots open for the moment, and what a coincidence! A milestone marker. Now I have to tell you that it's not very rare that I forget to click on the Archet milestone. In fact, it's even more common for me to leave the Archet milestone once I do it until I'm well into the Bree quest, let's say, when I finally get around to port to the prancing pony and I find myself in Archet. So I'll need to remember to click that at some point when I get to Bree.
Could I speak with you a moment?
I wish you had been here, Pineclaw. We could have used you during the Blackwold attack. The attack was great, but in the end we defeated the brigands' onslaught. Some of the good men who were lost still remain unburied, and the people of this town have their hands full with their other great losses. It will be to our shame if those unburied bodies were dishonored by wild beasts. Will you do us the favor, seek out those poor men and grant them honor in death? Dirk Mudbrick fell at the... Right, he gives us directions to the various places. As you can see, the epic storyline in the early parts of Book 1 will be referencing my race/class in there in the beginning of them, while of course in the others they don't make such references. Alright, and of course we do have other things we can do. That's right, we were taking care of that. So let's talk to... Oh, actually, I like to put this here.
Would you do something for me?
A fine day to you. It's good to see the backs of the Blackwolves broken and peace settling over Archet once more. Now we can concern ourselves with less dire problems. Actually, you might be able to help with one of these problems if you're interested. There seems to be an illness spreading among the local boars, and a terrible affliction it must be, for the beasts are more hostile than normal. We really must put an end to this illness, and the only way is to slay those inflicted. Will you do this? Alright, now you know that I avoid doing gratuitous killing of animals, but in this case, of course, diseased boars very definitely falls under the non-gratuitous category.
Might you lend me an ear?
Don't worry about me, Pineclaw. It's just a minor wound. I got it in the fighting. Now that the Brackenbrooks, father and son, have driven the Blackwolves away from Archet, perhaps these folk can get to living their lives as they once did. Word has reached me, though, that there's a new threat to be dealt with. A nearby farm has been overrun with spiders, and the folks here have retreated to Archet. My injury prevents me from dealing with the pests, but you have proven yourself a capable warrior, and should have no trouble. Look for the farmer here in Archet. You may know him already. His name is Cal Springley. And the reason why they say you may know him is that if you did do the intro for Men and Hobbits, you would have done quests for him. So they took into account the possibility that you might have not have started here. Here's Cal Springley.
Greetings.
There we were, ready to stand our ground against them Blackwold villains, when these monstrous spiders came pouring from the cellar in the middle of the night. It seems hardly fair. Still, if the Spider Bane sent you, it could be that you'll be able to help us out. Our farm is due south of Brown's Folly. If you could recover my seed bag from the pens of my strongbox from the storage shed, we should make a new start of it. Oh, and my father's bow as well. Poor Henry was trying to kill some of the spiders with it. He was a good hand, but the spiders made quick work of him. Hurry back if you can, though. With the spiders around my farm, I don't see how you will. Alright. Now, spiders are very definite on my list of things to kill. And let's just say we do have a deed with Beorning's enmity of the spider. So obviously they're being considered as being unnatural, probably because they're so much larger than spiders have a right to be. I mean, if we were talking about those little spiders that eat nothing but flies, I see no reason to go around molesting them. But big, huge spiders that should not exist, well, in that case, they're very definitely fair game. Alright, and let's go with this. And let's see. See, these are just tawny brown bears. They're not diseased. And anyway, they're bears, and of course my rules concerning bears are even stricter than they are with other animals. With only the diseased ones really being the ones that are open game. Let's see. Oh, here's a diseased boar. So we'll take care of those. Yeah, we might as well use this every once in a while. Alright, there we go. Oh, and more of them here. And level 6. Oh, and at this point I get my first healing skill. Now this is only in man form, so therefore I'll put it here since it's a healing instead of a hurt skill. And it also needs wrath, which is a rather unusual thing for a skill. A man's form skill is a man form skill that needs wrath. Oh yeah. Alright, now let's see. I've got my tree open now. I've got choice between the hide, which is the defense, claw, which is the tanking, and roar, which is the crowd control and healing lines. Now I'm going to look into the claw line and the roar line so we can see how each of these work. So therefore I'll rename the first one to attack so I could easily remember which one it is. Actually, maybe just call it claw, since that makes it obvious, to me at least, that it's an attack line. And we'll spec this here. So at least I got a new skill called bash, and two new attack skills. Bashing and expose, seeking a weakness in the enemy's defenses to exploit it, allowing to follow up your following attacks to deal more damage. So therefore it lowers the target's mitigations in there. Now I usually don't pay too much attention with these basic attacks that add a little bit extra to them because I am more interested in the wrath and in bashing them, and I'm probably going to hit them again anyway soon anyway. Now the other choice is the roar. So I might as well keep that one, call that one roar then. And in this case I get, ooh, don't want to provoke that bear. Alright, and in this case I get two skills. One of them is called Mark. Hey, can't you see? Oh, well, okay. Alright. Now, we have an encouraging roar, so this is a heal, because since this is our healing line. And then Mark of Grim Beorn, a mark that can be placed on an ally. This mark will interact with various skills, altering. No. I gotta. Okay, this. You're trying to avoid killing bears. Okay. I'm not going. Alright. There might be other times when I'm in a more sour context. Might have to go and fight the bear. But in this case, I thought it was rather so. So therefore, we have this mark here. That this mark can be placed on an ally. The mark will interact with various skills, altering the increase their potency. So, for example, encouraging roar probably says, if Mark of Grimbeorn is present, it adds a little bit extra more, plus it adds some extra healing every few seconds. But I don't think I need this at the moment. And this is a neutral one, I think. So therefore we'll put that there. With that all done, let's switch back to the damage line and... Oh. Right? Oh, probably because I haven't committed anything yet. Alright, yes, of course. Alright, we'll stay on this page and not go around dawdling, which will cause us to get attacked or something like that. Now, I do have technically an exception for bears attacking us concerning our rule of never... Is actually, it's sort of more like not to attack bears. So if I'm attacked, it would technically be exempt from my general rule. But as I said, in that case, I was just completely silly in me being there in the first place of dawdling. So I'm not going to let the poor bear pay for that little situation. I mean, the only reason why I have the exception there is just in case I have a situation where I am in an area filled with other creatures and we have bears that are purely aggressive around. You're likely to run into a situation like that in the troll shawls or something like that. Now here, of course, we have spiders. Now spiders are, as I said, I can kill them as much as I want. Though I'm probably not going to go out of my way to kill lots of them until I hit level 13 when I start to get deeds to, well, to kill spiders. Yeah, I know. Bree has its own little deed for that. Alright, so now we get this. Get our strong box. Let's get the bow. Now the bow is always in the same place, but the strong box and the other item tend to move around. I don't know how often it changes, if it's on every server restart or what. But I do see that that changes around a bit from time to time. So therefore we have alright, we'll remove that. We don't need a stable master comb yet. So all we really need to do now is to bury the last body. And that will be way up this way. And I might as well tag Brown's Folly while I'm at it. Alright, what's attacking me? Oh, it's a boar. Yeah, that's right, because the bear wouldn't attack if I was just running by it, since they threatened first. Now, let's see, if I remember the wolves, do they threaten or do they attack directly? Well, that answers that question. Now, Beornings have a choice. They could either dual wield or they could use the... They either dual wield or they can use two-handed weapons, and their weapons tend to be axes and daggers. They're not able to use swords. Actually, I'm not too sure if there is anything other than axes and daggers. I'm coming here just to use the ancient cairn. So I don't know how I'm going to finish that particular deed, because both the deeds to find the ruins and the ones to use the various objects take you by an area with a heavy bear population. And unfortunately, it'd be nice if regular bears ignored Beornings. In other words, they wouldn't go around attacking them or anything like that, but unfortunately that is not the case. So we'll see how it goes here. And I'm coming up here in order to take care of the third body. Which is up this way. Well, fortunately, there is a little bit of a shortcut to Archet from here. And now, of course, that's through the spiders. So what I'll do is I'll bury the third body. That takes care of Nate. Alright. I know that's a tight squeeze with the horse to do that without running somebody over. And just... yeah. Now, would you take your horse through a place with all this spider web? Well, I might take the horse through there, but I probably would walk the horse instead of right through there. Alright. And here we are back in Archet. So next time we'll turn in these quests and see what else they have for us in Pineleaf Plays, the Beorning.